All right, today we'll be going over Music2Go, the marketing simulation from SmartSims. As we're here, I've just changed my name to Music2Go for the sake of the simulation, and we'll be going through each menu for each year. And hopefully, by the end of it, you'll understand more about the Music2Go simulation. So, obviously, starting up here at the top is the change name option, which uh, I have made here Music2Go. You can make it anything you want. Doesn't affect your sales, but keep it friendly. Don't no harsh language, but make your own company and actually take it seriously in that sense. And it's a fun experience. So up next is the year ahead for 2019. Uh, it's telling us that we've been hired as the VP of Marketing for the MP3 player division of Music2Go, or the name of your company, which is a large consumer electronics corporation. Basically tells you what your goal is to maximize your total marketing contribution, or your TMC, and carefully plan a marketing strategy, decide which markets to enter, how to price. It goes over some of the stuff like that. Tell you in this section here, in the getting started, please read the player's manual. I highly recommend doing so. It gives you some tips and pointers, as well as some hidden little tricks you can do. I did enjoy that. And it says here you start with a single product in the standard market. Single player gives you access to the standard and youth. If you're in a multiplayer simulation, you also gain the access to the sports segment. It's not available in single player. So the key steps for making your first decision is where we'll start off, and we've already done number one, which is change your firm name. You can only rename your firm this year, so you can't do this in any other years. So once you do it after the first year, that's your name. So make it count, although it doesn't affect your sales. So number two is read the key reports under the year ahead menu, which is this section here. Number three is buy market research. Cost money, but it can give you some hidden information. I won't be really going over them too much, because if I go over them and read each one to you, you don't need to buy it. So I will tell you if that specific one maybe is worth buying, depending on what you're going for. I'll kind of go over what each one has, rather than like the exact specifics. After that, you're going to want to make your price margin, forecast sales, and your advertising decision for your Sonic product, which you can rename to whatever you want. We'll go over that in that section. Read the forecast results reports, which are located here. And then double check that the decisions you have entered are the ones that you want entered. Because in single player, you can have it where you can roll back, but when you're doing your actual multiplayer simulation in class, once the rollover happens, which is on a predetermined date and time, you cannot roll back. So make sure your decisions are in. You don't want your decisions not to be in, and then, it sucks. I've seen it happen. You don't want to be in that position. All right, so we've changed our name, so now we're going to go over some of these key reports. Here we have the industry benchmark report. Shows you what your sales are in comparison to either the single-player competitor, in this case is EWS Audio. In multiplayer, this will be the names of your competitors who are, again, also taking the simulation. So it shows you what your sales revenue and your cost of goods sold are, which gives you your gross margin here in bold. Then it shows you your inventory cost, how much that's costing, which then is subtracted from your gross margin, which becomes your contribution before marketing. And then your product marketing shows you how much you've spent there, which is, in this case, right now we've spent $8 million on advertising and promotion. Our competitors have spent $16 million. 8 and 8. And then for marketing, which is your sales force, market research studies, are any of those things that you buy, and product development projects if you reduce the cost or improve the specs of your thing, which are become available to you in the second year, I believe. So when that comes up, we'll go over it. So then it shows you what your marketing contribution for this year is. which is the first number, and then your total marketing contribution, which is the big number at the end, which declares the winner. So it's got some hints and tips. First one is your goal is to increase your marketing contribution so that it's higher than your competitors. Have the bigger number in this thing and you win. That's basically what it's telling you. It tells you what your base marketing budget is, and then to increase your gross margin, it gives you like two hints here on how to do so. So market information, if we go into here, kind of just tells you all these different things for the standard segment, which is the units that were demanded, how many were forecast to be demanded, minimum price, max price, the recommended price, as well for youth. These are all estimates. This also then goes over the product dimension sensitivities with price, advertising, distribution, product specs. Really go through this one. I'm not going to really go through it too much myself, as it kind of gives away a lot. But so in that sense, read this one, but I'm not going to go through it. So if you choose not to, you're going to miss out. Some product details is kind of like your sales, your lost sales, what the retail prices of you and your competitor, and then it will show your awareness, distribution, and product specs for your product only, I believe. I'm not sure how it would work in multiplayer if it shows everybody's, but I know for sure it will show yours. So you can be like, oh, okay, maybe they're beating us because their awareness is better, so let's increase our awareness. Shows you what the average sales is and retail price, again for youth. Moving into product contribution, we have shows you what. So in this sense, we only have the Sonic, or right here, which is the Sonic 2000 in our standard segment. So it will show exactly what this product itself is contributing to our total marketing contribution. So when you introduce new products, they will be listed in here as well, and you can go over and see, okay, we really need to improve our sports segment because it's not contributing at all. So we know that's the one that needs work. Going into the budgeted expenditure report, kind of just will tell you how much you have available to spend each year. Make sure this is a fairly decent number. I went through one and I was having like $36,000 to spend each year. You don't want to be in that situation because you can't afford to do anything. So make sure you go into this report and make sure that's at least over 2 million, I would say, as a hint. We have our perceptual maps, which gives us some graphics here, which will show the style and technical specifications for each product. You want to be where this little black square is. That's what you want for your product to be at pristine, money making. It's the product that the consumers will want. The closer to that square you are, the more likely that your product will be the one that's chosen. And it kind of just goes over the specific numbers that each product has. I'll go over that more so in, I believe it's year 2, I said, when you can start making changes to the design and specs and stuff. We have our current decisions. Make sure you check this before you submit. It will tell you the retail price that it's currently sitting at. If I go in and change this will update to that change, as well as the retailer margin, forecast unit sales, and any advertising that we do. So yes, current decisions is a must read every single year. And then they also have a decisions from last period. In this case, since it's our first year, it's just going to show the choices that we have right at this moment, which we will be editing. At any time, you can also print these off by just clicking print. I highly recommend, I believe it's the market information and current decisions. Either print them off or check them like every chance you get, especially current decisions. Make sure it's the decisions that you want finalized for that year to go in. If you see something that's off, change it before you can. Next little section here is where you can find all the manuals and videos. So if you're stuck on something, you can download the player's manual PDF. Chapter 2 is a must read, and then you can watch 3 videos, and offline mode single player is kind of like a practice. But like I said, you do not get the sports segment in offline single player. But yep, so these are good for making your first decisions each year. So first decision of the first year, making your second year decisions, and your third year decisions. So like I said, moving on into the market research, there's the all product details report, which costs $500,000. These are really really pricey. So this compares all the products in the industry: sales, price, awareness, distribution, spec rating, lost sales, and excess demand. So yeah, I was going over the like distribution and awareness, and I wasn't sure if it would read it. This explains it here that if you want to see your competitors' numbers, you have to spend $500,000 to do so. So if you really need to see, you can buy it, but I wouldn't really recommend it, as long as you can see that your number's doing good, you can adjust your numbers accordingly. It's like if you want specifics, buy it, or if you're making just tons of cash and you would like to see that maybe, oh, we can improve here, do it. But other than that, I would avoid this report. Pricing overview, which includes your sales units, price index, retail price, wholesale price, production cost, and gross margin for all firms. Kind of just gives you the information that all the other firms are doing. Again, this one costs $500,000, and to me isn't really worth it. Just adjust on what you see on your own. As I said, like for all product details, if your number's good and you're producing good, keep it. If your numbers are not producing as well, maybe it's your price, just your price. If it's only buy these if it's like almost as like a last ditch effort. If you're like, okay, what are we doing wrong? Buy these reports. Product awareness increased by media. The increase in product awareness due to media advertising for all your products. This one costs half as much, $250,000, and I think this is the best report for you to buy. This will tell you exactly what your advertising money goes towards and how much it will increase awareness and sales by. This is a must buy. I would buy this one every single year and make your advertising plan adjustments accordingly. This is the big one to buy, and luckily it's only $250,000. Lastly, here we have retail performance, which is shows your the percentage and retailer margin for all firms. Again, not really needed. Only really do this one if you must know and you're really struggling. But if you're doing okay, or if you're way ahead, don't really bother with the first two and the last one. But guarantee, please buy product awareness increased by media. You will not regret it.